Okay, first cast of Arena Classic, the prize pool event. This is Handes versus Zever, no, versus Nahuel, I mean. That's the clan name, that's the player name. And this is Vintage Arena, so it's quite different from your current Definitive Edition Arena. It has significantly wider range of map generation possibilities. Like in this case, some of the sheep are outside. Hannes just right out here, and so is, well, where's Nahuel? Oh, it's an eagle, that's why I can't see it. Okay, yeah, he's gonna find those sheep, I think. They're over here. Hannes is playing the nice game, just snagging those two sheep outside, not really trying to pick up the two that belong to Nahuel over here. This is an exciting Vintage Arena generation, because the bases are so close. You'll note that I buffed the stone walls for this variant of the Vintage Arena. It's simply to ensure that we won't see tower rushes every game. Tower rushes are stronger, and nowadays, because it's towers have more hit points. So with the walls now having 1800 Dark Age hit points, it's much tougher to tear them down with pillars. Not impossible, just takes a lot longer time and leaves you with more than enough time to wall off your area. Early cast indeed, and Venegor is here with the Kaiser emote, of course. The funny thing here is that, let's say you go... Yeah, we're not going to go fast in Monk Trebs here, I think, but if you do some kind of fast Imperial Age shenanigans here, you could actually place a castle in your own base and trebuchet over to the opponent's side. Hello, the Belgian. So a little something about the settings for Arena Classic. The civilization settings are different each round. So for the first round, the round of 64, the players are forced to go random civilization. They swap civs in game 2, which means that Hannes will be playing Incas and Nahuel will be playing Khmer. And should it go to the third game, then it has to be a random mirror, which can also provide some very interesting games, because the players will not have a civilization advantage at all. Now, I'm not an expert on Arena. I like to cast it because of the sheer creativity of the players. It is mind games. A lot of the part of the playing on Arena, even if you can guess what they might do with civilizations. You can't pre-plan with random, by the way, so you have to kind of wing it. But you can't see what the opponent is doing behind their walls. Khmer, of course, honestly, they have some things going for them. Maybe hard to pull off on Vintage Arena, but one of the more ridiculous things I've seen, I think, is straight 19 pop Castle Age or something, and then double Siege Workshop Scorpions. That was introduced by... Was it God of the Godless or the Bloodless or someone who did that? God of the Godless, I think. Yeah. And it's a ridiculous play. And that could actually work out on the tight spawn like this, but maybe again tougher with the... you'll basically need cows and 4 deer for that to work, and I didn't really count the deer here. But yeah, you're good, and you're basically not making villagers for that strategy, you're just making your 19 villagers and then spamming scorpions that with the Khmer have 1 extra range, so you could out micro mangonels and other units as well. Would love to see that from Hannes. His experienced on Arena has certainly has something in mind, but the mill is already up, so this isn't going to be that insane fast castle Khmer. Could still pull off probably like 23 pop into a Monk Siege push, for example, or something like that. And with the Incas, I'm at a loss, but we see Nahuel is on stone here already. Could, of course, could actually be a tower rush here, but it's 22 pop. But considering that Hannes hasn't clicked up yet, certainly an option. But Incas, they save a little bit of... They earn a little bit of food because they start with a llama in addition to the herdables around the map, which means you do have 100 free food, which means that 24 Bobcat stage is probably completely viable with Incas. 3 farms are up here, so yeah, I guess it's not going to be any power shenanigans from Nahuel here. Sorry for going mute there for a moment, had to respond to a work-related email. So the eagle's just patrolling around here, maybe afraid to lose that to enemy scout. There's even berries outside there, there's gold for both sides here, that's a neutral one. A very small playing field here. Both players going Castle Age here, they are going to reach it at roughly the same time. Hannes actually going up at 1 villager less here due to idle this time, some food, lacking of food possibly. And seems to be wanting to take some map control here with knights, some early knights with a Khmer here. Maybe to defend a boom. There's a bit of a booming space here for both players. So... but nothing too crazy, but at least they have the backspace to hide away and extend the economy. But now a forward villager, okay. So never mind the boom, this is going to be... Yeah, who even knows? Looks like the good old school back forest sneak villager over here with a little bit of excess time for Hannes here, considering the closeness between the bases. But Hannes already knew that. In the case of Nahuel, Nahuel wants to drop a castle forward, okay. Incas, they have cheaper castles as well, so you could easily pull off more than one castle. And here we go, but now Hannes might be able to stop that. Hannes has the stable up already. It will be able to make... No, it's always... Yes, he's workshop! Aye, aye, aye! They are... They're both going forward here. I don't even know what Nahuel is up to here. Nahuel cannot see the stable. One knight, depending on the quick build skills of Nahuel, might be enough to stop this castle overall. And there's a spearman here. There's more knights coming out as well. Nice quick house there from Nahuel. Okay, I guess this one goes up. I guess this one goes up. But at the very least, it gets delayed. Oh, the Magadal actually. Will the Magadal pop out in time here? Nah, 50%. That castle goes up. That castle is going up. If that Magadal pops out in time, that's huge for Hannes. But Hannes can't stop that. 11 GG. Wow. Well, to be honest, Hannes knows that Nahuel is the higher seed here. There might be quite the skill gap. And since that castle couldn't be stopped, and Hannes was also planning a what looks to be a somewhat intense forward siege push here with the amount of wood and Also some gold in the bank. That wouldn't work out with that castle in that position, so that could be why he's calling it here. That is the first game to Nahuel here. Oh, nothing too crazy. Nahuel didn't even get Loom before moving out. That's a YOLO castle if I've ever seen one. No Loom for the villagers building it. That's confidence right there. Couldn't he make ramps? Yeah, of course, sure he could. But I think I don't know, I think it's just intimidated by the actual skill gap, and maybe it doesn't play Khmer a lot, I wouldn't know. Also, maybe he was expecting to, maybe Hannes was expecting to be up earlier here, I don't know. I can't really speak for the line of thinking behind the villagers as well. That's just when the good old idle time there. These things happen. Let's find game 2. Easy win for Nahuel for the first one there. Now you'll see that the Sims have been swapped. Now it's Incas versus Khmer again, but for the other player, they switch them up here. More of a classic arena generation here. Another thing that's specific of vintage arena is that you always have 2 patches of gold inside your base. The big gold and the small one. And in this case, both players have them forward. Somewhat close still. This is like 16 tiles or something, so... but the playing field in the middle is larger. And the moving space is arguably a tiny bit smaller as well. Both players have back berries, so... should anyone attempt a power rush, at least the berries will still be safe, securing your potential fast castle age approach. But now let's, yeah, all of the resources spawn inside. They still move out just in case, while scouting with pigs at home base. There could be sheep outside, right? So it could even be deer outside or boars outside on this map. So better make sure to scout the outside area. So what I would see from Incas, I mean, obviously they could go towers in the regular DE arena these days. Towers now have 850 hit points in the field edge as opposed to the earlier 750. But the walls are stronger, makes it harder. So probably no towers. What I could envision with Incas as well is an Eagles play that you make double, triple barracks, something like that, and then you try to get your way around to a siege workshop and a siege tower as well. Then you could just surprise drop the opponent with a siege tower Eagles play and roam their base before they are ready to react. But that's a costly, and especially the siege tower will cost you like 400 wood with the siege workshop and the siege tower itself, and also the gold, and the eagles cost gold as well, so it's a costly play. Maybe it's safe to assume to see some kind of castle play from Hannes here as well. Nahuel seeded one of those mighty Khmer farms that basically never need any drop-off point. So it's a way to boost the food a little bit. Actually didn't drop a mill yet, and might not actually do that either, because Khmer can go up just like that without any building requirements. This is the buildings required to go to the next stage, but since the Khmer don't need any, You can just advance once this bar has reached the 500 food needed to go to the next stage. So that's a useful statistic to have a look at there, which shows how early you could, in theory, go up with these things. So again, no mill yet, which gives me an idea that Nahuel is going for a really fast castle play. Okay, so he has 3 on gold already. He has 3 on wood. Okay, so he did build the lumber camp, but I believe you need that anyway if you're going for that crazy early Khmer siege play. Okay, 22 villagers up here. That's nothing too out of the ordinary for the Khmer here, but that food count, that seems awfully tight for a straight castle here. I might be mistaken. There's still pigs, 1, 2, 3, 4 pigs to be eaten here. Nahuel is also up 1-0, which basically means that he can afford to lose a game here, right? So trying a bit of more of an all-in approach here, maybe. But here comes the mill, so never mind. It's not that crazy super fast castle Khmer siege play. Maybe it's just a matter of not really needing the mill here. Food situation seems a bit low, though. 2 farms here. Is it going to be enough for Nahuel here to go to the castle at 23, 24 pop here? And what's he going to do with that fast castle age? Meanwhile, Hannes is quite quick up here as well. 23 population total, just 1 more pop. Idle TC time is much more comparable this game. 2 on gold, very conventional, straight fast castle approach from Hannes here, I'd say. The wood is a bit short to afford both buildings needed to go up, but aside from that, Hannes is going to be fine here. Whereas the career player is in the feudal age, is queuing at least 1 more villager, but the food count is a bit off still for that. Next, yeah, maybe he'll be fine here now. Did have to see the couple more farms, 5 farms total now, but very heavy on the berries here to get that food needed to go up. I don't know why he delayed the mill in the first place, but that's some idle time there for Nahuel, whereas Hannes has he's lacking a bit of the gold and the second building here, but once the market is up, Hannes will be following suit and going to the castle age as well. Yep, here's the stone investment. Given the distance between the bases this time around, maybe a defensive castle makes more sense, especially if Nahuel wants to go for some kind of monk siege shenanigans here, but it's the app 25 pop-up is already not necessarily playing to the Khmer's fast uptime strengths here, so we'll see. And it's also a lot of farms. Maybe it's actually planning a bit of a boom here, or I'm not sure what the idea is. Stable, okay. So going to contest the middle area here then and try to snag the relics, which are fairly evenly dispositioned here between the players. Too close to Hannes' base and too close to Nahuel, and then the last one is pretty much in the middle here. But since Hannes is going to get up a castle anyway, he'll have access to those Kamayuks to deal with the Khmer cavalry. Here comes a barracks as well, which could produce spearmen to deal with enemy scouts, eagles to snipe monks of Nahuel, snagging the relics as well. Castle is in, the monastery goes up as well. This is going to be kind of a more standardized contesting the middle of the map for the relic kind of play. YOLO castle drop incoming, this time with Loom for Hannes here. That's one that Nahuel didn't have the previous time. That's commitment right there. No! I mean, if you're going to go with a forward castle, why not just place it so it actually denies resources? Not that Hannes can know that there's gold here, but... Well... I guess he means to... He's going to drop more castles inside once he gets around there. I'm a bit puzzled at the castle positioning either way, because this is in the corner. It's so easy for Nahuel here to wall that off with house foundations, stone walls, gates, anything. But the castle goes up. There's lots of gold forward here as well. Only one on stone now for Hannes. Let's see if any of these villagers go to stone, maybe to allow for another forward castle. This castle doesn't do anything. I don't understand. I mean, it's going to allow to break through here. Are we going to see eagles then from the barracks? Only one barracks. 2 TCs. This castle is basically just a distraction at Nahuel's forward base. No, at the forward of Nahuel's base, I mean. But then sending all these forward villagers to gold could gives me the impression that that we'll see an eagles follow-up or something here. Or maybe it's just going to be used to use the market to trade resources for whatever Hannes might need here. Well, if anything, Nahuel didn't expect this castle to go up over here. I think he has had the map control with some scouts out, but with the amount of villagers Hannes sent forward, you'd still be able to fight off the scouts with villagers. We are effectively open here as Nahuel goes for a defensive scorpion here. I think that's just to deny a potential second castle popping up here. Meanwhile, at home base, Hannes has 2 TCs working, extending the food economy here as well, and given the massive gold investment forward, if he idles at some point and collects enough food, he could go Imperial Age here and start pushing with traps or whatever. They're both at 2 TCs, Hannes only 4 villagers behind here. Nothing too crazy, but far behind in eco upgrades, as you can see in the corners here. Oh, castle just widening the space here for Hannes to do whatever the follow-up is. I can't really say that I'm reading Hannes' mind here. There's only the castle and the barracks to produce military, and Hannes is basically just booming out of 2 TCs now, and Nahuel is doing the same thing. And in the meantime, Nahuel has snagged 1 relic as well, about to get another one, so some passive gold boost there. Looking at the resources, there's also food and gold count closing in on what's needed for the Imperial Age click here. Which means once Nahuel collects enough stone for a castle, he could drop a castle, he could beat Hannes to the Imperial Age, and this forward castle that essentially isn't really a threat will be easily dealt with the earlier Imperial Age traps. Yeah, I'm confused. Imperial Age for Nahuel here does allow for cap trams as well. I don't, and siege trams for that matter for the Khmer, but I don't think that's a play here, considering that Incas could make eagles or Kavayuks to easily deal with that if the Rams try to deal with the castle. But TC going up on the stone here now, Nahuel just not stressing out about anything. Probably knows by now that this castle doesn't do anything. I am ahead eco-wise is what Nahuel is thinking here. Let's just comfortably go imp at 55 villagers here. Focus on stone, get a castle up, get traps out, and finish off the Incas. Hannes could try to stall with enough Omega pokes. I assume that means Kabayuks. Just arena lingo there. To be fair, neither of them have any military whatsoever, so the game is open. For sure. Or, I'm lying, they have Spearman out and a Scorpion, but that's about it. Is this mind games for this? That's just a Spearman inside the castle. Maybe the Nahuel will panic now, see that there's something inside the castle. Has to be Kameyuks, but no, it's not. Ooh, letting the Spearman in here. Free scouting intel for Nahuel here. He's looking for the barracks or whatever. It's true, the tribes will be delayed. I mean, if Nahuel had a market, it could buy the remaining stone for the castle, but he doesn't. So that basically means that that time window for the earlier Imperial Age isn't as significant as it could have been. Here comes the castle, not even inside home base to defend here. Nahuel just assumes the middle here. But the castle is of course walled with building foundations here, which keeps stuff semi-safe after all. Expecting the Kameyuks here maybe, since it's dropping the ranges for either slingers or arbalests. The slingers! Sorry, Hannes is the Incas here, sorry. Nahuel played the Incas the previous game, that's why it's confusing. It's of course not going to be slingers, it's going to be the crossbow line here. Could get arbalests, but they are... What are they missing? They're missing Thumbbrick, I think. They're missing some kind of significant upgrades. And now come the Eagles, okay. Eagle Warriors in the making for Hannes here. Not going to see Elite Eagles or full upgrades for a while yet, but considering the ranges investment now, Nahuel, that is kind of... Well, he's seen the barracks now, so he'll know what's up here. The Khmer infantry line isn't the strongest ever. They have full, lacking the last armor, and I don't think Khmer get champion. They only get 200 swordsmen, so that's an issue. Eagles, they have some resistance to monks as well, so while you might get conversions in, it's going to take you a long while before it happens. Arbalests against Eagles, that's a fight you don't want to risk, basically. The Treb fight is on as well, and since the Castle of Nahuel took quite some time to get up, the Treb Wars is basically at Hannes' advantage at this point. And given the Pierce armor of the Eagles, once you get to the upgrades, if you just dive in here and take out the Treb as well. Nahuel is just a little bit too late with the army investment here. And being up against an Eagle Civ, the Arbalests don't necessarily make sense, but Hannes did commit heavily into a forward castle to begin with as well, so that could be why Nahuel felt comfortable with this kind of approach, with a mini-boom into Arbs and essentially defensive Trebs here. He is losing the Treb war though, so Hannes is coming out on top here. Elite Eagle Warrior coming in as well here before the Blacksmith upgrades, which is bit peculiar maybe, but it does boost their stats. Now they're just going to dive in against Trebs here. Another defensive castle from Nahuel, but I'm not sure how long that will stay up with 3 Trebs out forward here now. Some knights popping out as well, but Hannes could just make some Kameyuks to deal with that, so that shouldn't be a big deal. Just doesn't look like Hannes wants to dive with the Eagles just yet, not until plate mail armor is in. Enter the knights, but there's cover fire from the castle here, so even if one Treb goes down there, that's not a disaster. No Brace of Chambers plus 4 armor, who would win? Yeah, exactly. Maybe you could dive. Maybe. Ooh, but Hannes is going to break through here. And unless Nahuel flexes some serious quick wall skills here, then Hannes is going to dive in with the Elite Eagles. Now getting fabric shields as well. And that's for the Eagles, right? Yeah, more armor for the Eagles. Now they're growing increasingly dangerous here. Eagles have a tiny bit of bonus damage against cavalry as well, +4 in fact. And now the Khmer Arbalest, they shouldn't really stand a chance. The monastery is down, so the passive gold income from relics is temporarily lost as well. Rebuilding it over here, actually. It's fascinating. Looks like Hannes' slightly unconventional approach here is paying off. The forward distraction castle into 2 TCs and finally Elite Eagle Warriors, which is may or may not be a reaction to the Arbalest mass of Nahuel here. Siege workshops popping up as well now. Eagle numbers now reaching a past 20 here, so 20 eagles against how many arbs? 28, yeah, that should be the eagles fight. Wide open base now for Nahuel here. Looks to be losing a lot of villagers. The villager population is well ahead from Nahuel. Still, Nahuel is, however, floating lots of wood here, so the economy management not ideal for the time being. Has had to scramble up buildings to try and deal with the army advances of Hannes here. Enter the eagles, the arbs. You can hit and run forever, but these Incas, eagles, that's going to hurt for a while. No ballistics. Well, no university. Oh, there it is, actually. But, yeah, that doesn't help when you're up against moving units like the Eagles. Their movement speed intact. 143, so they're almost matching knights without husbandry. Just chasing the villagers trying to flee here, leaving some eagles as well. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it certainly helps out here. No loom! No loom! Oh, that hurt so much against the eagle raids here. I didn't even realize. Still no loom for the Khmer here. 33 villagers down for Nahuel. No loom at almost minute 40 with the base breached. Aye. Yeah, I think this is over for Nahuel here first. Upset of Arena Classic here. That's quite the elo gap between the two. Eagles just dive in here, deal with these knights, no problem. And if this castle dies, then these trebuchets will not survive for long either with the massive amount of eagles out and about here. Hannes keeping them close just in case any units try to dive in here, but this castle will eventually go down because Nahuel does have a market actually, but it's getting quite expensive to buy stone as well. And there it goes, and the gate stays open! No, run! That would be a shortcut. Love how Nahuel is gating in the tribes here. Did manage to take out another one of Hannes' tribes, but now the rams are out for Hannes as well. Only battering rams though, not siege rams. Didn't really make lots of use of these workshops yet, but both Incas and Khmer get siege rams, so siege rams could come into play here as well. Hannes now dominating in the military department, 62-9 here, and must be competent at this point. Battle elephants now for Nahuel, probably one of the more sensible options at the time. Gold count pretty low though, but they are tankier than the knights, but they still have cavalry armor, so I guess the eagles deal bonus damage against them as well. There we go. 1-1 between Nahuel and Hannes here. Good comeback in the Civ swap here. Looking at the whooping 113 to 20 kills here. The game ending without Loom for Nahuel here, so that certainly backfired. 57 villagers lost. Eagles basically 2 or 3 shot villagers if they don't have Loom. So that's of concern. The eco situation quite similar here, but if you have the army numbers, that doesn't really matter. Alright, decided game, which means we will have a random mirror on our hands. And let's just dive in to see what kind of matchup Malian's mirror. Okay, that's an interesting one. And we have another close generation, but bigger back area. This could turn into a boom. There's a huge elo difference. Nahuel is 2044 and Hannes is 30. There's a freaking 700 and almost 800 elo gap between these two. That's ridiculous that Hannes takes one game like that. Just arena things. That's good to see that the mind games of arena can play off like that. How can they lose to a 1300? No, you. If you ask me, I ask you. But we'll see what the random mirror brings. Very close spawn again here, almost to the point of where you could trap from inside your base. In theory, I guess you could, at least to break the walls, but this area here is just begging to be castle dropped for defense or offense, depending. Massive fucking smart going at Eagle. Indeed. So again, we have all the resources inside here. Looks like 4 deer, which is always useful for arena. It could vary a bit from 3 to 4, but that comes in handy for your food income to go to the next age. Semi-backberries as well. The walls, as mentioned a couple of times, they've been buffed for the Dark Age, so even if you wanted to tower rush, it's going to take you forever to break down the walls, so wouldn't recommend it by any means. And that's the intention as well. We want to see the variety of strategies that Arena can bring, so we've strengthened the walls a bit to severely limit the viability of tower rushes. All these spectators, not me. That's the only thing I do on Arena, basically, because I don't enjoy playing the map myself. I prefer watching others suffer, but I'm also not the initiative behind Vintage Arena, so I've left that to Arsak and Krasini and everyone. So what can we expect in the Malian's Mirror? They have redemption, so their monk play is not out of the question at all. They have Geppettos from the castle. They have the extra Pierce armor infantry units. They just have a lot of options, especially in the Castle Age. Yeah, RO6 says he always loses to Thrushes, so probably why. Thrushes can produce interesting games as well. Johannes slightly higher idleness time here, otherwise they seem to have pretty much a similar approach here, slightly more wood for Nahuel. No giveaway as to what happens. Oh, this is actually one of the double berries maps. So it gives you a lot of extra food. And oh, Hannes didn't find the second berry patch. That's unfortunate. So always check the back of your base as well. Otherwise you might be missing out on... I mean, Hannes has seeded the 4 farms now. Basically wouldn't need those for a long time if he'd found the second berry patch in the back here. That's an additional... Oh, how much? How much? 700 something food. Can't even do the maths, but... 750 food, I think. The barracks is up for Nahuel, so this could be some kind of infantry masterpiece at work here. Or it's just contesting the middle map again, but the players are so close. Whoever gets to the castle age first here should have a significant advantage in the relics race anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th relic? Is there only 4 relics here? Am I blind? 1, 2, 3, 4. Blacksmith stable for Nahuel here, so okay, so he's going to play the cavalry after all. Might be able to add some scouts while on the way to the castle age here as well, and spears to just claim that small middle area. Almost had a chance of a good scouts fight here with that early feudal age, but doesn't grasp the opportunity. So both on the way to the cast stage here, the only difference is Hannes going up 1 population more here. Otherwise, they're quite similar in the approach here, which means that Hannes will be going up with a stronger economy here. But that eco advantage has been sort of, I wouldn't say going to waste, but Hannes really wants that defensive cast lap or offensive. I'm not going to judge here. It could be offensive, of course. They're really close to each other. It's scouted at a distance, but... and come to think of it, maybe you don't want to play defensively against a player who is 700, 800 elo above yourself. Couple of scouts out from Nahuel claiming some of the middle here, also sending spearmen out to guard the relics. I guess this is technically a bugged map if it's only 4 relics, unless that's intended, or unless I'm blind. The fact that there's so many, so much military out for Nahuel already, the scouts and the spears, that essentially means that a forward castle drop isn't or shouldn't be possible. The stone count also missing. Yeah, it's probably bugged. I don't think it will make a huge difference on the outcome here though. So, and at this point they must have realized that there are only 4 relics, so they would be able to, well, technically a bit too late to claim the restart, but I don't think that's what's going to change the outcome of things here, having 1 less relic. Both players opting for the triple TCs here. In fact, Hannes is getting the triple TCs out first, having collected some stone. Looks like we'll be seeing the defensive castle in not too long as well. And meanwhile, Nahuel is sending out the monks, keeping the map control just to collect the relics here, and it's just being plain annoying, causing that constant attack sound at Hannes' side here. So annoying when you... Okay, actually we don't hear it here. But yeah, probably getting that attack sound bell all the time. Hannes, right now. Two relics already. So is Hannes doing the Geppetto masterpiece here? Is that the play? Triple DC boom into full Geppettos? That would be fascinating. Because I don't really see any other military building currently. No military upgrades for either player either. And now enough stone to get that castle up. There you go, it's a good castle spot. You could stone wall or house wall here to prevent any enemy military entry. Boom-wise, economy-wise, Hannes is ahead even with this massive stone investment early on. Eco management seems on point as well. Nahuel isn't on gold at all here, just relying on passive relic gold income to afford the Imperial Age here, by the looks of it. Also going for a castle. And food situation quite similar. Hannes, however, with less gold, not having that that gold trickle from the relics. So we might see Nahuel going up first here. I don't know if Nahuel can see the castle going up, but either way, first player reaching the Imperial Age will be at an advantage here to break through and take out these defenses of the opponent. Still, Triple TC is producing here for Nahuel, but with 32 on food, that leaves at least 16 farmers bringing in food that will allow you to get that 1,000 food needed for Imperial Age. Second building coming up here as well. That's the second one needed for Imperial Age. No rush here for Nahuel, nothing of gold as you can see, everything going into all the other resources here. And it is indeed the Geppettos here for Hannes, so finally Nahuel would need to withdraw, and he gets exactly the scouting intel he needed. He sees the Geppettos, and probably doesn't really freak out for that reason. That just means you could go into adapt your plans and go into Arbalest yourself, for example, or just get to the Imperial Age earlier and get to Farimba Cavalier maybe. Even though the Geppettos, if you have a sizable mass, they have that range and that high attack output, they would deal nicely with cavalry with their speed and hit and run potential as well. It goes a couple of ranges for Hannes as well. So what's the combination here? Is this Geppetto and Arbalest, or well, crossbow rather? But or is the Geppettos just a mind game here? So still only 2 Geppettos. Now I'm confused here. Nothing like the good old arena mind games. The villagers still no loom, probably. Not for Nahuel either. He doesn't like loom. He doesn't get loom. Unless he really has to. He has villagers outside. He has all of the map in its hands still. He's got those 4 relics, so that's gold income. Now is mining gold as well, but basically the Imperial Age was financed by passive relic gold trickled here for Nahuel. Oh, can this TC get denied, actually? Hannes just pulls back here. Tries to hide away the fact that he's going for the archery ranges here. Crossbow, ballistics, and then of course Imperial Age on the way. Nahuel is already up. Does have stone for a castle here. That castle, yes, it goes down forward. This time with loom actually, so maybe Nahuel learned something from the previous game here. And will Hannes see this? No. Is this because Hannes put his outpost? Is that why Nahuel is dropping the castle on this side? I mean, you will be able to push down any defenses here with the trebs. Bomber cannons coming out as well, so chemistry obviously in for Nahuel here. Bomber cannons, Farimba, cavalry. Nahuel has such a lead to the Imperial Age here, so he could basically make anything at this point. Don't think he knows anything about the soon-to-become Arbalest efforts of Hannes here, but as long as Nahuel gets the proper cavalry upgrades here, it's not a big deal. I think you could use bomber cannons to snipe the ranged units at a distance as well. Ooh, Geppettos. Sniping a bomber cannon, a great value from Hannes with the 2 Geppettos only. Sniping a bomber cannon there, but now they go down to the castle fire. And Hannes, one trebuchet out here, probably not going to be enough to take down this castle, especially not with bombard cannons out and about for Nahuel here, who has a convincing eco lead. This house, actually, their overall populations are on point. They are completely matched in that regard. But now, Hannes has revealed the soon-to-become Arbalest, which is not the strongest options for the Malians either way, because they don't get Bracer, right? They're missing that last range and attack boost. With the chemistry and ballistics and all, it's still going to be decent against the cavalry until it reaches critical mass, but... Oh, nice snipe there, sniping another bomber cannon. So now Nahuel's forward efforts not really paying off just yet, but keeps that map control still here, has those relics, that's so it is easily going to outlast Hannes in gold here. Hannes still has gold to go inside home base, but will not be able to claim any of the outside golds anytime soon. Forward cannons from Hannes as well here. Maybe the forward castle goes down after all. Are we going to see Nahuel commit to some counter unit here? The skirmishers maybe against the Arbs. I mean, the skirmishers will be missing Bracer as well, so might not be the best option actually. But if Eco allows, you could dive in with the Cavaliers as well and see how this turns out. Could also hop in for some raids. Hannes, Eco-wise, not struggling by any means, though. That's a good surround with the cavalry though. And oh, it's a bad fight for Hannes. Even underneath Castle Fire, that's a bad fight. We have played full upgrades for the cavalry here. Flaimba kicked in as well. 12+7, high attack, easily deals with the Arbalest approach here. And just like that, Hannes' base has been breached. The castle might be lost eventually as well as more bomber cannons pop out. But now the raiding efforts. Ah, yeah, good play, good play. Nahuel now refusing to let another match go away. Actually, I should make a bracket command for Arena Classic. I can check it in a moment. Zelos. Look at that Tippin army there. That's all the arms going down in half a minute. Half a minute. Maybe I should update the price pool in the Arena Classic command as well. Malian Arbs in a Malian mirror. Because why not?